State officials are saying there is a shortage of lawyers in North Dakota. Leaders from the state's Bar Association and law school are trying to fix this problem. University of North Dakota Law School Dean Kathryn Rand is here to talk about how the state plans to solve the state's shortage of rural attorneys. Well, thank you for being on the show today, Kathryn.
My pleasure.
All right, well, there is a misconception across the country that there's an excess of law school graduates and attorneys, but we find in North Dakota that is not the case. How so?
That's right. The national conversation talks about a lawyer surplus, but here in North Dakota, we're actually experiencing a lawyer shortage. We have the lowest number of attorneys per capita of any state, and because we're in the middle of an economic and population boom, we're really feeling that.
How are you and the North Dakota Bar Association trying to address this problem?
We have a new project called the Rural Justice Project that we're working on in partnership with the State Bar Association as well as the state courts. It got some funding from the state legislature this year, and it's going to allow us to place a law student with a judge in a rural county for a summer internship. And then we'll continue that relationship between the judge and the intern after they come back to the law school when school starts in the fall.
How would you describe the cohesion between the law school, the Bar Association, and the Supreme Court?
We're so fortunate to have strong relationships with the state courts and with our State Bar Association. As the only law school in North Dakota, we are North Dakota's law school, and we're an important part of the legal profession in our state, and that's an obligation that we take seriously.
Would you say there's more an advantage, since it is such a smaller state, that you can kind of build a closer bond with all three branches?
Absolutely. Our students benefit from these strong relationships. Just last week we had the North Dakota Supreme Court out at the law school where they not only judged our moot court competition, but they also heard live cases. So our students had a chance to see real attorneys in action and also get judged as student attorneys by a sitting court.
Well, you referred back to the type of jobs and the qualities that you would want in a law student and what they would be doing with that attorney. What other opportunities can you expect for somebody, a law student that has this type of clerkship?
What we're going to do is, while the student is serving as a summer intern with the judge, we're also going to introduce the student to what it means to be a Main Street lawyer in a rural community. So they'll have some programming with the help of the State Bar Association about the benefits and advantages to rural practice. One of the things that we stress at the School of Law is that our graduates will become community leaders, and there's no better opportunity to do that than in our rural communities across the state.
Well, tell me, how do you think that specifically North Dakota, how are their needs unique from other states in the U.S.? We're talking about the law.
Well, right now, as you know, we've got this wonderful economic boom going on in our state, but it actually is putting a lot of pressure on our court system and on our legal professionals. So there's more legal needs than our current attorneys and courts can actually handle. And that's true on both the civil litigation side as well as the criminal side. So in order for our courts and our criminal justice system, for example, to operate smoothly, we need enough attorneys in order to do that. So for our graduates, there's a huge entrepreneurial opportunity in our state, but they need to be practice ready.
So for law students that they've completed their clerkship and they're now graduates, tell me, what are the advantages and opportunities for somebody that wants to establish a practice in a smaller town or smaller community?
Absolutely. Well, one of the advantages of rural practice is that you get a taste of just about everything. So you don't go to a rural community to specialize, for example, in corporate tax law. You get a chance to see the needs of a community, whether they're family law, criminal law, trusts and estates, business planning, adoption, whatever it might be. And that's a chance to see how the law impacts people and how the law can help people. The other opportunity that I think is really important is the chance to be a community leader, whether that's serving on a nonprofit board, serving school or church, whatever it might be. That's an important role for a lawyer.
All right, well, now we're going to turn it over to you and say, you know, as the dean of the only law school in the state, how is there any, for you, the pressure to get this issue at the forefront?
Well, I think that all of our judges and lawyers in the state are definitely feeling the pressure of meeting the state's legal needs. So we're working together to figure out how we can do that just as quickly as we can. I mentioned that through this Rural Justice Initiative, we're going to place 3 students. We've already gotten requests from judges to add and expand to the program. I know that even some of our federal judges are interested to see if they could benefit from it as well. So I think that the more that we can do and the more quickly we can do it, the better. And that does require strong relationships, and we're very appreciative of the support of the state legislature for this initiative as well.
Last question. How, at the end of the day, when you have these 3 clerkships, how will you be able to determine if this is a success?
The most important assessment of our success is going to be whether or not the legal needs of our state are met. But that's a long-range goal that we will have to constantly strive for. I think what we're going to be looking for is the sense among our graduates that they are interested in rural practice, that they feel capable of embarking on a solo or small law firm practice without perhaps a lot of other attorneys around to serve as mentors, at least in the same community. So that's going to be some of the things that we look at. The other piece of it, though, is the service that we're hoping to provide to the judges in those areas. So we hope that the student work that's conducted actually benefits the judges and the people they serve.
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.